Hi everybody, Kate here from PAREdown, and I thought I would do a video today on going vegan. So, going vegan or being vegan, even being vegetarian, was never something that I thought would be a part of my life, to be honest. I had entertained the idea of being vegetarian many times, but I think it's just like entertaining the idea of going bungee jumping or jumping out of a plane or something. I know that I would never do it, but you know, you think about it and you wonder like, what would that be like and how would that change my life? So the fact that I'm sitting here and sharing with you all that I'm vegan is shocking to me, to be honest. But as I look back over the past year or two, I can see now how the steps in my path have unfolded and ultimately led me to this point in my life. So yeah, I've never been somebody who loves meat. I like meat. I love cheese, let's be honest. I love butter. Yeah, dairy, you know, I might miss dairy, but I don't yet. Anyways, prior to zero waste, I think that I was already watching videos online to do with, you know, animal welfare and how animals were treated. And so I was aware that big agribusiness was not really something that I wanted to support. And so even before going zero waste, our family had started purchasing meat from a local butcher that advocates being humanely raised, that animals are living in biologically appropriate environments, that, you know, they're not, you know, fed feed with antibiotics and such. And I just felt good about that choice. And, you know, then I started to sort of not feel good about eating meat when I was out. And so saying I wasn't going to eat meat when out at a restaurant, that was fine. And, you know, even adopting more vegetarian meals in our home, all of that was fine. And we drastically reduced our meat consumption. Last summer, after going zero waste and, you know, making a conscious effort to reduce the amount of dairy and reduce the amount of meat and animal products that we were consuming, because I knew that it had a detrimental effect on the environment. I just didn't know how great it was at that point. You know, we decided to go on a camping trip for 2 weeks, and it was to Yellowstone National Park in the United States. And I was already sort of stressing out, thinking, how am I going to do this camping trip for 2 weeks, zero waste, like, you know. And also another video, but we ended up bringing all of our garbage home with us and sort of washing it and sorting it, and, you know, which there wasn't much garbage, but there was some, more than we would have accumulated had we just stayed at home, or just gone camping locally where we could bring everything of our own. Anyways, so I'd vowed for this 2-week trip that I wasn't going to eat meat, because it would have to be bought, you know, from a diner or a restaurant if we were eating out, or, you know, from a local grocery store down there, where I wouldn't have the control over knowing how that meat got to where it was. So that was a 2-week period of time where I guess I was vegetarian, and I found it extremely easy, to the point where when I got home, I decided I wasn't going to consume meat at the same you know, level that I had been, and try and be vegetarian. And, you know, during the rest of the summer, I was practically vegetarian, but I would have a bite here, a bite there. And it was usually when I was hungry and I, you know, didn't have something else to just put in my face, you know, in that moment. So you just pop something else in your mouth. And then I watched Cowspiracy at the end of the summer, and that had a very lasting effect on me. Prior to watching Cowspiracy, I'd watched Forks Over Knives, I'd watched Vegucated, and I'm sure I'd watched other movies to do with transitioning to a more whole foods, plant-based diet. But Cowspiracy really touched me because, you know, it opened my eyes to the realization that big agra and big dairy business and big, like, meat and dairy, which is big agra, is more detrimental to the environment than all of transportation combined. So here we are focusing on oil production and not consuming, you know, products that are petroleum based and just limiting our overall consumption. But and I'm getting pats on the back and media attention and accolades for living this way. But it made me realize that any vegan is doing far more than I ever could as a zero waster. So yeah, I kind of felt like a hypocrite. And, you know, I decided in that moment that I can't be a zero waster and be consuming meat and dairy. It just no longer made sense to me. And so from that point on, I was just done with meat, and I was ready to jump in wholeheartedly to being vegan, but, you know, cautioned by a good friend to take things in steps. If I wanted to be successful, I did. And, you know, I sort of tested out vegan days here, a couple there, a week here. And then with the new year, I decided, you know, I had my fair share of spinach and artichoke dip on New Year's Eve, and then it was done. And it's been a really, really surprisingly easy transition. Dairy has definitely been harder than meat, probably because of my long love affair with cheese and butter, but also because it's in everything. So that has been a bit of a struggle because it's pretty obvious if meat's in something. It's not as obvious if dairy is in something. So, but yeah, I'm pretty committed to it and I can't see myself going back. So I'm sharing this with you because, you know, I feel like if I'm unaware, or I was unaware of how detrimental the big agribusiness is to the environment, then I'm sure some of you are equally as unaware. And so I'm just making this video to encourage you all to watch Cowspiracy. Yeah, and I will do update videos from time to time on the vegan part of my life, because in transitioning, I found watching YouTube videos on other people's transitions and their vegan lifestyle, because there's a bazillion of them, I found it really useful. And my family is not vegan and not vegetarian. Because I am the shopper and the cook in the home, I would say they eat at least 50% less meat than they were eating a year ago. And we have made the commitment to no longer purchase dairy for the home, with the exception of butter, although I'm investigating that. I don't want to buy margarine or something in those plastic tubs. I think margarine is probably horrible for you nutrition wise, but I've heard of other alternatives, so I'm going to look into that perhaps come wrapped in paper. I don't know, I've heard things. Tell me, what do you know? Yeah, I'd love input from any other zero waste vegans. I really also struggled with you know, because we've got a top 10 list of things that are not zero waste or not single-use single-use plastic things that we have not given up, because we don't want to be too restrictive with this lifestyle and too hard on ourselves, because you still want to enjoy your life. So, and my commitment was over this past year to reduce the number of items on that list, which I have. And so for a while before, you know, sharing that I've gone vegan, I was like, oh my God, well, I may have to buy more packaged things. What if I want to buy tofu? Or what if I want to buy almond milk? Or what if I want to buy X? You know, those things are packaged. And I was really like, it was stressing me out, to be honest. But, you know, over the past month, I haven't found that I've had to buy anything in a package. I don't need to have tofu, so I'm not going to. I can have it when I'm out at a restaurant if I choose. So yeah, I may end up buying some vegan cheese. I don't know. Is it even good? I don't know. Anyways, we'll see. But yeah, I may change my perspective on how our family eats. Again, like we may morph, but this is where we're comfortable right now. I don't want to be that parent at the playground or at the birthday party, sort of like, you know, hovering and monitoring over what my children are eating and, you know, taking the enjoyment out of the moment for them. I do plan to be completely forthright with the reasons why I've changed my lifestyle and, you know, and the reasons why we don't purchase certain things in our home. And I hope that, you know, moving forward, that they will make good choices for themselves. So that's where we're at. So yeah, thank you for watching. Check us out at our blog, paredownhome.com. That's 1D. Or on Instagram at PAREdown, Facebook, PAREdown, Pinterest, PAREdown. Yeah, and subscribe to the channel below. I will link what I can, and I think I'll be able to link Earthlings below for you. And, oh, I hear my children and my husband. But yeah, subscribe below and check our links out below. Awesome. Thank you. Salut!